Everyone, how's it going? It's Scott here from CanGeek Games and Collectibles. Welcome as always to the CanGeek Games and Collectibles YouTube channel and the CanGeek Facebook page. This is CanGeek's Let's Play of As Fate Would Have It. I'm once again joined by Chris, Anthony, and Greg. We are going to very quickly recap where we left off 2 weeks ago, and then we're going to jump right back into this. This is a quick recap because not a hell of a lot happened last session, actually, folks. You guys met with the Brotherhood of Fate, and they gave you a tour of their facility. They gave you a room to sleep in. They gave you some food to put in your gullets, and they gave you liquor to drink if you so choose. What we did learn, however, is, well, the leader of the Brotherhood, a guy by the name of, you guys remember his name? Michael Jones. So a guy by the name of Mike Jones, who is the leader of the Brotherhood, welcomed you with open arms, despite the fact that someone killed two of their followers on the steps of a library, supposedly. Okay, we all know that's not how that actually played out. Well, he was accepting of this and viewed it as just a matter of what the fates deemed necessary. Certain other members of the Brotherhood were not as accepting of your presence. One brother in particular, who was romantically involved with one of the individuals that you dispatched from this plane of existence, took exception to the fact that the three of you were not killed on sight. Heinrich later made friends as only Heinrich could make friends in the library of the Brotherhood, and for some reason, a couple hours later, several members of their faction had a overwhelming case of diarrhea. So, as the game session concluded, it was about 11:30 in the evening. Brother Jones was escorted out of the common area by his assistant, a gentleman by the name of Brother Timothy. You were invited to retire to your rooms for the evening. However, you made the choice that you wanted to do some sneaking around. And this is where we begin. So, you guys now find yourselves alone in a dimly lit common area. Brother Jones has just been escorted out of the room by Brother Timothy. Apparently, Brother Jones had a little too much to drink, as did several other members of the group that were in the room that evening. And now you folks are there to determine how you want to proceed from here.
Do I have to think of everything, or are you guys going to be able to actually decide what you want to do on your own?
Well, we said we're going to go sneaking around, so let's start going through these rooms and see what
I have no
goodies
problem
we
with sneaking
find.
around.
Okay, so let's go.
All right, so where are you going?
First, I'm heading to the library. Genau.
Okay, so the library is like a 2-minute walk away. The facility underneath this farm is in night mode now. So most of the lights have been turned off. There are emergency lights, we can say, that light about every 5 to 6 feet of the corridors. So they've more or less wound the facility down for the evening. The library is 2 to 3 minutes walk away from where you are, so we'll assume you get to the library without any issues. You walk into...
So was I with you guys?
Yep.
Scott?
Yep.
I was going to say, was I with him? Sorry. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep. No, the three of you agreed together that you were going to do a little more investigating after everyone left. So, unless you have decided to retire to your room, the assumption, Pete, is that you are with them.
Yeah.
Okay. So you enter
I
the.
couldn't remember because
Yeah, go ahead. So you enter
was just
the.
going to say for some reason I thought I stayed in my room. That's why. The only reason I'm asking.
Wow. Do you want to stay in your room, Pete?
No,
You okay?
go with him.
Okay.
What Heinrich does.
So you guys enter the library. Other than a couple of pot lights illuminating, say, the center and the four corners of the room, the library is in near complete darkness. Um, there is the door that you enter through that leads back to the common area where you just concluded your evening. And then Heinrich on the other side of the room, on one wall, you recognize the door that you entered through earlier in the day after coming back into the facility after moving the car. So you're in the library. What is it you want to do here?
Look for information on that amulet.
Okay. There is a reference computer on a desk in one corner of the library, so you're welcome to use that.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me how your
Can we look for more light switches to turn on more lights so we see what we're doing?
all right.
Or were the lights controlled from somewhere central?
So we're going to say that the lights in this room are controlled from a central location, a control room. Okay, so who's going to take a crack at the computer?
I will.
All right, so Heinrich, walk me through your search parameters for this search, please.
Uh, Again, search. Amulet. Search. The standard. Searches. Go through the catalog index. Look up history. Anything that may be related to the Brotherhood, the amulet, and Scald.
Okay, so give me a mentor roll, please, Heinrich.
Mental.
Yeah,
Clever.
yeah, sorry, clever.
It gets a plus 0. 3.
Okay. So, to begin with, you find a somewhat detailed history of the Brotherhood of Fate. You are surprised to learn that they can actually trace their origins back well over 400 years to Norway. Okay. Um, the detailed history is a little more detailed than you care to really start digging through. It gives you the lineage of family lines and how generations of current members can trace their origins back to the founding of the Brotherhood over 400 years ago. Their mission, as it were, is exactly what Brother Jones previously told you. They are charged with protecting the realm in which we all reside in by protecting the free norns of fate, by abiding to their wishes. Um, there is a lot of skepticism in the research that you come up with, indicating that they legitimately believe that the free norns do exist and that periodically they choose to leave their plane of existence to walk among mortal men. What you learn about the amulet is not nearly as detailed. Really, there's no direct correlation to what you've learned. and to any amulet at all, other than um, a reference to the fact that when these beings choose to walk among mere mortals, their source of power is tethered to an object of some kind, and whoever holds that object controls the power contained within it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Is there a drawing? Any type of art?
Yes.
Anything like of the amulets?
Of the current object that they believe um, controls the power in question, it basically looks like a tree of life. So it's a circular amulet with a tree in the center and branches going off into multiple different directions.
All right.
To be honest with you, you know that you've seen this amulet before. You've seen it every time you've looked through a jewelry store or a mail order catalog or something like that. Like this looks like a typical tree of life amulet, and it could be any number of amulets that you would buy from a local jewelry store.
All right.
Okay, what next?
Well, we still don't know the whereabouts of this thing.
Nope. As was explained to you previously by Brother Jones, uh, they were hoping that you could assist them with locating the amulet.
Well, next thing to do in the library is look up the blueprints of this facility.
Okay. So, you do look up the blueprints. You find them very easily. Basically, from what you can tell from looking at the blueprints, there is nothing that they seem to have kept from you. You basically got a tour of the entire facility. So there is a farm above the facility. The farm is used to grow their crops for the purposes of surviving underground in this facility. The facility itself has a sleeping area. It looks like the brothers each get their own uh, room to speak of. There are certain rooms that are segregated off for guests, shall we say. There is a common area that you had your meal in with them. There is the library. And then um, that is pretty much it for the blueprints. At least that's all the blueprints are going to show you. So there's a dining area, a living area, and then the
Armory?
and armory. Nothing
Armory, security rooms.
nothing listed on the blueprints.
There's got to be an armory.
Oh, there is somewhere.
I'm sure that those guns came from somewhere that they were ready to shoot you with.
All right. Well, is what it is. All right. And what do you guys want to do? Because I mean, you're just hanging out, looking over my shoulder. I mean,
Yeah, like I know, I'm not
search
sure.
through that computer to see if there's any evidence of if there's a connection that we don't know about between the Brotherhood and Uzma, maybe something we haven't been told?
You can try. It's a reference computer meant to catalog the contents of this library, but I mean,
It's a computer, right?
Hey, you're welcome to take a
Things
shot
could
at
be hidden.
Okay, you're welcome to take a shot at it. So you tell Heinrich to move out of the way, and now you want to sit down in front of the computer. So you're sitting at the computer. There is a direct connection to the internet. Okay. So
Yeah.
you can definitely sit down and you can do a search. Walk me through your search parameters, please, Maya.
Okay, well, I was more thinking along of hidden files on the computer itself, so not an online search, but looking through folders, files, hidden things that are, I mean, things
Okay,
that could be disguised behind
sure.
the front face of our reference library computer.
All right, so give me a clever roll, please, Maya.
Okay. Um, okay, so I've got a 0 here. My clever is 3. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it's 3. This is slow. Yeah. So I'm at 3. Out of 3, I mean.
Okay, after 20 minutes of digging through folders and looking through everything that you can conceivably think of to look through, you come up with absolutely nothing. Um, that is not to say that there may not be a connection, but it is to say that if there is a connection, it is more than likely stored on somebody's private computer as opposed to a computer that everyone has more or less public access to.
All right.
Okay, so it is now just
Okay.
past midnight. Okay. You're still in the
Yep.
library. Heinrich has done his search. He has come up with a few pieces of information that make reference to this medallion. You have learned that the Brotherhood is an ancient order that can trace its origins back at least 400 years to Norway. Now, is there anything else that you want to do while in this library?
No, really.
I think that's it. I think we should watch like how much we go searching around this facility anyhow. So
All right,
the last thing we need to do is run into people who hate us.
fair enough. So where do you want to head from here?
I don't know. I might go back to my room. I think we should just be cautious with snooping around here.
All right.
Okay.
So you,
Christiane?
Um, I think we need to move on to the next room that we could potentially search through. So earlier in the day, everybody was in the common area. Everybody was in, God, what other rooms there were. But anyway, we can go back to maybe the common area and see if there's
okay.
anything there we missed. When now that there's no one there.
All right. So you head back to the common area. The common area is comprised of a series of tables and chairs for people to dine at. On one side of the room is the hallway that led you there from the library. At the back of the room, opposite where you dined with Brother Jones, is a washroom facility that Heinrich is all too familiar with, as are several of his victims right now. Um,
Awesome.
on the other opposite side of the room is a doorway that you know leads into a kitchen facility because that's where the food was brought to you from. Okay.
Mhm.
And then on
Yep.
the fourth side of the room is a hallway that runs parallel to the dining area that leads down to both the medical and sleeping facilities. So you're in the common area right now. What do you want to do?
Okay, I want to go into the kitchen
Okay. So you go into the
and
kitchen.
look around there.
So you walk into the kitchen. The
Okay,
kitchen,
is there a light switch?
no, there are three pot lights in the middle of the kitchen above a metal island in the center of the room. Okay. Uh, the room itself has brown ceramic tiles on the floor, a grayish black metallic island in the center of the room, pot lights above that island. You can tell that there are more lights in the room, but there's no obvious switch in which to turn them on by. The room,
Mhm.
surprisingly, is not all that wide. It's actually long. It runs the full length of the common area that's just outside of the kitchen. Okay. On one side of the room, you have a big gas stove, okay, which
Mhm.
appears to be where they do all their cooking from. It's like a 6 or 8 burner stove. So it's, it's not a home stove, it's an industrial stove. There's fridges on one side of the room for storage facility for keeping things fresh and preserved. There's an area for you to wash your hands before you prepare food. And basically, so far, what you see in there, it just looks like a normal kitchen with
Okay.
obvious utensils required for the preparation of food.
Okay. Any emergency exits?
So there are no emergency exits in the kitchen that you can see.
Okay. Um, can I put one there and spend a fate point and put one there?
No. The length of this room, Maya, to be very
I'm going somewhere with this.
okay, but
I'm going with this.
the length of this room, if you were to put an emergency exit there, that emergency exit would lead you into the bathroom. It would either lead you into the bathroom or it would lead you out into the common area, the hallway on the opposite end of the common area. So,
Okay, so here's what I was thinking. Uh, put an emergency exit there in a spot that doesn't make sense that it's an emergency exit, and have that exit eventually lead us into some sort of a secret room where we can find armory and other things, just to make this day exciting.
well,
To spice it up a little.
yep. Sorry, there is.
You're not going to hide an armory off a kitchen.
Yeah, no,
Seriously, you're not going to hide an armory off a kitchen.
no, not.
Well, it's the most something obvious and someone you can't think of. So
Yeah, no. Sorry, you can't spend a fate point to put an emergency exit in the kitchen.
okay, I'm trying here.
No, that's fine. So you've
It's probably at the entrance of the building, considering I'm sure where their security is. So.
so bear in mind, folks, that Heinrich already knows of an emergency exit out of this facility. He's already been shown an emergency exit.
Yes,
Now,
that's a real emergency exit.
now,
That's the
now,
point.
now, the three of you, the two of you won't know this, okay? Because you weren't with Heinrich
True. Yeah.
when he was shown this.
Right.
But Heinrich knows there's an emergency exit. So now,
Okay. Well, let's find the control room.
now, you've explored the kitchen. Where do you want to go from here?
Let's find the control room.
Okay. So where are you gonna go look for this control room?
Okay, the area that controls the fortress.
Pardon me?
We were looking at the blueprints. We were looking at the blueprints just now in the library.
But there was nothing on the blueprints that said anything about a control room.
We also said that all the lights are being controlled from a central control room,
Yes, but
okay, or a central location. So let's go find that.
so what
That would
I
be an interesting room to explore.
so what I'm asking is where are you gonna go look for it?
Well, you wouldn't give me that fake emergency exit.
Nope. You're right. Not off the kitchen. Sorry. So my question for you is this: you have explored the library. You have now explored the kitchen. Okay, you know that
Hmm.
there is an area for you to rest in. Um, you assume that there has to be some form of medical facility in here. keep in mind, again, you won't know that Pete has already met with the doctor, okay, because he was on his own. So you're going to have to tell me where it is you want to go look for this control room.
I say, well, the thing is, even if we find it, I'm sure it's going to be manned by security. I think we have to kind of figure out how long we want to stay in this place too, because if we just want to leave tomorrow, we just can't.
Yep, they're not holding any of you prisoner. They've told you you're welcome to come and go as you please. They need your help as much as you think you need theirs at this point.
Yeah, we more need their protection than anything, too. We keep getting chased by all these goons, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Once we talk
So
to them
we
more, try to get
continue.
some more resources out of them to try to find this thing.
So you can either continue exploring, looking for a
Mhm.
control room, or you can tell me what other avenues you want to explore right now.
Okay, I see we keep continue exploring to
Okay.
see if we come across something.
So tell me
We
where
can
you.
still walk.
Yep.
Well,
So
we can walk down the sleeping area, so down these corridors, and see if there is a room that stands out. Perhaps we obviously can't go into every room because there's probably people sleeping in there.
hmm all right.
But
So
look for something that stands out.
that's fine. So you head back towards the sleeping area in this facility.
Hmm.
Takes you about another 5 or 6 minutes to reach that general facility. Okay. On your way down there, you pass what appears to be uh, a lab of some sort. Pete, you will immediately recognize this as being the office that you met with their doctor in earlier in the day. Okay. At the end
I'd
of
say I'd
that,
tell them that.
pardon me.
I'd say actually, once we walk by the office where I met the doctor, I'd tell these guys.
Okay. So Pete tells you guys that's the Brotherhood's doctor's office.
Hmm.
So that's off to the left of you in the hallway that you're walking down. In front of you, the hallway stops at a dead end, but then it hangs a right to head down further towards the sleeping area. Okay, so you want to.
Hold on. Pete, is it worth going to the doctor's office and exploring? Was there anything else you noticed when you were there?
Much it was the doctor's office. I don't know if it's worth trying to get in there now. Seemed pretty basic to me. So I'm sure it's probably locked or maybe.
Doors wide open.
Okay.
Load up on medical supplies.
Okay,
I got a kit out my bag again.
okay. So, Heinrich, you walk into the doctor's office. It's a small office to speak of. There's a desk in the middle of the office. There's an examination table on one side of the office. Directly behind the desk, there's a countertop with a small sink for the doctor to wash his hands. There's drawers underneath the countertop that, various medical supplies are going to be kept in. And then directly above the sink, there's cabinet work with plexiglass doors on the cabinets. So you can see a variety of medications and medical supplies in those cabinets without ever opening the door. Now, Heinrich, in the process of you loading out your medical bag, you start to remember something.
Okay.
You remember yourself in your laboratory at one of your safe houses, concocting some form of chemical substance. You've got, test tubes and beakers, and you're pouring stuff in and stirring stuff up. You've got the Bunsen burner going in front of you on one side, and you think to yourself, yes.
What a wonderful world.
Oh, yes, you definitely think that. You're thinking to yourself, this will be my best work yet. And then
Uh,
you once again are back in the Brotherhood's doctor's office. Heinrich, take a fate point for that memory, please.
Yay! I'm up to 4.
Okay. So Heinrich in the doctor's office, he's got various antibiotics, and he's got syringes and
Yep.
basically what you would expect to find in a doctor's office. So just give me an idea of the things that you're loading up your bag with, please.
Oh, some syringes, needles.
Yep.
Just some gauze. Bandages, tensors. Things that my doc bag may have been depleted on.
All right. So,
Um,
yeah,
you know, drugs, things like I need, anesthetics. Just load up.
done. Your bag is so full at this point that you're having a hard time doing up the zipper. You may actually have to dump a couple things to close that bag properly. You basically cleaned this guy out.
What
Okay.
a shame.
Okay. So your bag is loaded up. Is there anything else you folks want to do in this doctor's office?
No.
Maya, Pete, is there anything else you want to do in this doctor's office?
Nope.
Okay. So it is fast approaching 1 a.m. in the morning. You folks have been on the prowl through this facility now for about 90 minutes. In between the time it took you to do your research in their library, prowl around the kitchen, and now Heinrich looting the doctor's office. You leave the doctor's office, you hang a sharp left to walk down the hallway where you're going to have to make another right hand turn to walk down towards the sleeping area where Maya is hoping that she will um, find access to a control room that all of you know has to be here somewhere. Okay? As you hang the right hand turn around that corner, you hear the following conversation. You hear the voice which you're pretty sure you guys have heard before. I'm actually going to ask which one of you has the highest clever score?
Christian
One.
and me.
Are you both at three?
Yep.
I'm at 3, yeah.
Okay, both of you give me a clever roll, please.
I got a +1, so I'm at a 4 now.
+2. So I'm at a 5.
Okay, Heinrich, you definitely recognize this voice. This is one of the guys that you were having a fight with in the library earlier yesterday. This is the guy that you tried to do the two-finger shuffle up his nose with. You recognize the voice as being that of the individual who was romantically involved with one of the two individuals that ended up not coming back from the library mission. What the three of you overhear him say, and you can't see him because he's just around the corner when you hear this, okay? You hear him say, I don't care what Brother Jones says. They have no business being here. As the fates would have it, my ass. The Fates would not have us separated. The Fates would not intend for me to remain here living the rest of my life like this without him. They have no business being here. And we'll deal with them in due time. Now, after that, Heinrich, give me a quick roll.
2 plus 0. 2.
Okay. Okay. So, they hear a noise. Or the guy speaking hears a noise. He goes, "Shh, what was that? You know what? We better get out of here. Go back to your room. I'll meet you later. This isn't over." And then you hear footsteps leading off into the distance. Okay, so couple minutes goes by. The hallway falls silent again. You know that there's no one there now because you could distinctly hear them walking away, whoever they may be. Where are you heading from here?
Continue down the hallway.
Okay, you walk down the hallway.
Very quietly, though.
Yep, you reach the other end of the hallway. That hallway ends but joins on to another hallway with several doors up and down the hallway. Those are the doors leading into some of the various rooms that some of the brothers will be sleeping in. This entire area has multiple hallways with rooms leading off of all of the hallways. So you are now in the heart of the sleeping area. So, where do you want to go from here?
Would the control room be down one of those hallways?
You have no way of knowing. I mean, if you want to start knocking on doors and asking the people that open them if this
No,
is, hey, is this the control room?
no, I'm not gonna do that. No,
Hey, is
I'm
this
not
the
gonna do
neighborhood chop
that.
shop?
I was just looking for some. I was gonna look for something that maybe stood out.
Nope, they're all very plain looking doors, and you have to assume that there's people sleeping on the other side of the doors.
Right. So, okay, there's no point exploring those hallways because, well, I don't want to wake anyone up. You could always come back when everybody's awake and occupied otherwise during the day. If we really wanted to explore that area.
Well, in this case, I'm going to head back to the conference room. Just off the
yeah,
cafeteria.
where you were meeting with Jones when you first got there?
Yes.
Okay. So that's where you're heading back to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Heinrich says, well, this is a waste of time. And he's out of there.
Well, we had to try.
Now the question becomes, are you guys going to continue exploring or are you going back to the rooms that were provided to you?
Well, I'm going to the conference room. I'm not going to go to the room that was provided to me.
Well, they didn't get a chance to provide you with a room, right? Because the other two went to rooms and you said, no, I'm staying in the conference room. And
Yep.
yeah. So the question becomes, where are you folks going at this point? Heinrich has indicated he intends to wander off on his own now.
Okay. So were you doing any more exploring, Heinrich, once you get to that conference room, or you're just gonna find a corner to sleep in?
I'm not saying anything.
Well, if you want to explore, I'm all in. But if you want some shut eye, I'll leave you alone. I'm good for exploring some more
Mm-hmm.
when everybody's
I'm going to
sleeping.
follow that corridor that good old Brother Jones went up because I'm curious.
Okay. See if you don't mind the company.
Okay.
Sure.
And Pete, what are you doing?
I think I should go back to my room. I really think we shouldn't push our luck tonight, especially with these other so-called brothers who basically don't want us here.
Okay. Are you offering that as your professional advice to Heinrich and Maya?
Yeah, so I think what we should do is just maybe in the morning get more supplies from these guys, some more resources, get what we can from them, and leave.
Says the
Or
guy
just
who
leave this
killed two of the
facility.
Brotherhood and then
Well, how much more are we going to get out of them? Because they don't know where the amulet is. They're not going to kill us on sight, so I guess we do have some sort of ally.
Yes, you're more protected in here than you are out there. And if they need our help with the amulet, tomorrow morning would probably be the day to draw up a plan of some sort.
So we
Okay.
could meet
But we
with
still
what's his name.
explore when no one is looking.
I was going to say, who was the guy's name that we were dealing with mostly, Scott?
Brother Michael
Mike
Jones.
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 So, Maya, I am going to tell you right now that
Hmm.
up to this point, you've done most of the exploring you're going to be able to do.
Okay.
That you're aware of, anyways. I mean, short of you starting to knock on doors and asking people direct questions about where the control room that you're looking for is, you're really not going to, find what you're looking for at this point.
Hmm. Okay.
So you can either go with Heinrich if that's what Heinrich intends to do and continue to prowl around and see if you can find more hidden um, areas of this facility, or you can retire for the evening and potentially not burn a bridge that, someone is trying to build for you. But it's up to you. Pete's offered you guys his professional advice. You'll have to decide amongst yourselves how you want to handle that.
still gonna do that. Take look around the good old Jones's
Conference
office
room.
area.
Yeah. I
So
think I'm gonna, join in on the fun. It's more interesting than sleeping.
Okay.
Besides, I had a nap earlier. I'm good.
All right. So
mm,
Maya and Heinrich intend to head back to the conference room that you guys sat down with originally with Jones. Pete, you're saying that you're planning to go back to your room and sleep it off?
Yeah, considering he was meds he had taken earlier and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
It's probably pretty run down.
All right. So
Sure,
this
these
is
guys will.
yeah. Okay. So
Sure,
this
these guys will figure stuff out.
yeah. All right. So this is where you guys separate. Pete's heading back to his room to get some rest, and you guys want to go back to the conference room. So Um, you guys wander back to the conference room, which is, on the other side of the common area. That takes you about 15 minutes to get back there. So it's now about 1:15, 1:20 in the evening. You're in the conference room now. Um, it's very dimly lit by one pot light in the center of the room. Again, when you walk into this room, there's a table in the center of the room for people to sit down at. Um, and then, there's some cabinets around the room, and, there's There's a small bar at one end of the room, but that's about it. It's, it's a private conference room setup. So what do you plan to do when you get in there? What are you hoping to find?
Are there any books or any type of, I don't know, literature, anything on the walls, like bookshelves or whatnot?
No,
No. Okay.
no, nothing on the wall. Now, Heinrich, you remember as you're looking around this room that Jones left the three of you unattended in that room for a short period of time. When he came back into the room, he came into the room with a folder exploding with documents and paperwork. Um, and as he started to flip through that folder, he started to talk about things that pertain to the three of you. He knew that Maya was an archaeologist. He knew Pete's backstory and the fact that Pete, was on the run from this guy that he used to work with. Um, he didn't seem to offer up much information about you, however, other than to ask if you knew the whereabouts of the amulet. So he
Hmm.
does have some background information, but he didn't get it from that room. He left to get it, and when he came back into the room, he had it with him.
Okay. Well, the next thing to do is, see if we can leave this room, go
Okay?
and see if we can find that path to Jones's office.
Okay, fair enough. So where are you headed from here?
Into the calf, then follow the door that Jones went.
Well, you won't know what door he went through because you were in the.
Wow, how many doors are in the calf?
Well, there's
We've
so
eliminated three
so
doors.
so here's what you have when you exit the conference room. Directly across from the conference room is the caf area. At the
Hmm.
opposite end, you have the bathroom. On one wall, you have the kitchen. On the other wall, you have a hallway that leads to the library. As you exit the conference room, you exit directly into an open hallway. Okay? On your left hand side is the hallway that leads back to the main entrance where you originally, came into the facility. On the right hand side, the hallway leads back down towards the doctor's office and the sleeping area.
Okay,
So you go left or you go right.
let's go left
Okay?
toward the entrance.
So you go left, you walk down the hallway, you ultimately emerge into the room that you walked into when you first entered the facility. You are on the ground floor. Again, you remember that above you there is a balcony where everyone took aim at you with their guns of choice when you first entered the facility. So there has to be a way to get up to that balcony because it alludes to the fact that there is a second level somewhere. But in this area that you're standing in right now, there doesn't appear to be anything that gets you up there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can find the stairway up.
Okay? Tell me how you're
Hmm.
going to explore the room.
Well, go around the periphery, take a look, see if there's any doors, any recessed passages, any type of panels.
Okay? So you're working around the perimeter of the room. Okay? And you're looking for, as you said, any recessed panels or anything like that. You've been wandering around this room now for about 10 minutes, going around the wall, doing this, trying to, see what's going on because you know there has to be a way up there somehow. Both Heinrich and Maya, give me a clever roll, please.
Okay. Clever roll. Okay, so I got a +2 for
4.
my roll, so I'm at a 5.
Maya, one side of the room, you are doing this with your hands on the wall, trying, to see if there's any sort of hidden panels or anything. And you hear click.
Ooh, nice. I found something.
Okay.
Okay, and does the wall recede or slide sideways or what?
Nope. But you pushed on the panel and the panel went click.
Okay, so I'll give it another push. Maybe that's what it needs. So I'm going to push it open.
Okay.
Is it moving?
Give me a quick roll, please.
Quick roll. Okay. Come on. Quick is okay, so I rolled a -1 and my quick not too quick. My quick is 1 and I have -1. I'm at 0.
It's not moving.
Yo, Heinrich, I need muscles. Something clicked here and I can't move
Okay.
anything.
So let me take a look at where she's at and see what I can find.
Okay. So
Feel it, push
Yep.
it.
Okay. Give me a quick roll.
3.
Okay. You really have to put your shoulder to this thing, but eventually you give it a really good shoulder block kind of shove with your shoulder, and the entire panel does this and just turns sideways, revealing a passageway on the other side of that panel.
Yes.
Okay. Follow
So,
the passageway.
yep.
Close the panel behind us, but follow the passageway.
Okay, so give me a quick roll, please, to close the panel.
1.
You're pushing on it. It ain't moving.
Okay.
So that panel is wide open at this point. Anyone that sees it is going to know someone went down that corridor.
Okay.
Okay, well, most of them are asleep now, so chances are no one's gonna find out.
Okay, so
Well, it's going to be kind of obvious that it's going to be us.
so are you going to
Well,
leave?
yes.
Are you going to leave it exposed, or what are you
Nope.
going to do?
Try it again.
Okay, give me another quick roll.
2.
It ain't moving.
Mm-hmm.
Maya, give me a clever roll, please.
Okay. Clever. So I'm at 2.
Okay. Off to one side of the now exposed panel on the floor,
There's a switch, isn't there?
there's a little foot pedal.
Hit the foot trip for fuck's sake.
So who's hitting it?
I'll hit it.
Boom!
Okay, you hit it.
It slams shut.
Okay.
Okay? So you're now in this long corridor.
Follow the corridor.
Yep. You follow the corridor for about 10 or 15 feet. When you get to the end of the corridor, there is a set of metal stairs, like fire escape stairs, that leads up. Okay? So you go up the set of stairs, and when you get to the top of the stairs, you have to turn right and then make another right hand turn to walk down to another open hallway area that runs parallel with the hallway down below. Okay? At one end of the hallway, you see an open door, which you immediately realize leads out onto the balcony where you guys were held at gunpoint yesterday. At the other end of the hallway, there is a door.
Okay, obviously go to the door.
Okay, so you walk down to the other end of the hallway to the door. There is a handle on the door. You turn the handle, the door opens, it's not locked. That door leads into a wide open space. Kind of looks like the common area that you were in previously, okay? Except
Hmm.
on one side of that room, there is another room. So it's a half room, okay? So big square room, one corner you have a room, and then on the other side of the room, there are two more closed doors. So where are you headed?
Check the room first, and then check the closed doors.
Okay. So, I need both of you to give me a clever roll, please.
Clever roll. Ooh, ooh. I'm at
Clever
a
is 2.
5.
You got a 5? All right, so Maya,
I have a 5. Yep.
Heinrich starts to make a move towards that room on the opposite side of the room that you've just walked out into. And you immediately get
Hmm.
this gut wrenching feeling that this might be a bad idea.
Okay. So why am I getting that feeling?
You don't know. You have no idea. All you know is that as he's walking towards that room on the other side, you suddenly start to question whether walking directly into that room would be a smart move.
Okay, so tell him to be
You gonna say
careful.
anything?
I'm
Careful.
not seeing anything,
All right, so Heinrich,
that
as
says it's a bad idea.
okay, so Heinrich's about 3 feet in front of you at this point, heading towards that room. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna let him walk in, or you're gonna say something to him?
Okay, so well, let me think. Yo, Heinrich, I have a bad
Hmm?
feeling about this. Just be careful. I'm
How
gonna,
how how
kind of
loud
behind you,
how loud are you
and
saying? How loud are you saying that?
not too loud. He's right in front of me.
He's 3 feet in front of you.
I don't want to, the whole community to hear me.
Okay. Heinrich, give me a quick roll, please.
5.
Okay.
Nice.
As she says that to you, she catches you off guard and you stop dead in your tracks for a minute. And then you start to realize that you're hearing muffled voices coming from the open door on the other side of that room.
Okay, time to go.
You head back the way you came, back down that corridor.
Hit
Uh,
the foot trip. Get
yeah,
out of the room.
okay. And
Yeah,
you're
no muscle required.
and where are you heading now?
I'm heading back into the conference room where I'm going to ostensibly take a nap.
Okay, so you're heading back to the conference room. Maya, where are you headed?
Well, if he's taking a nap, we're done exploring because I'm too much of a chicken to explore on my own. So I'm going back to my room and sleeping.
All right, so Heinrich has decided to take a nap in the conference room. Maya, you've decided to return to your room to take a nap. You're finding that you're getting yourself a nice, comfortable rest in the bed that they have provided you with. It is about 2:45 in the morning now, and you have nodded off to La La Land. And that
Mm,
is when you start to have this dream. So,
mm,
you are seated across the table from one Mr. Joseph Uzma. Uzma looks at you and he says, Doctor, I am hiring you and sending you to Egypt so that you can help me vet the authenticity of a recent find. This find is extremely important to me. There can be no mistakes made. I will make it worth your while in such a way that it is guaranteed to change your life and your fortune forever. You then remember having a conversation with another individual. You don't know who they are, but they tell you under no circumstances can Uzma be allowed to get his hands on this. It will mean the end of everyone and everything as we know it. You then remember Maya, or at least you think you remember. This feels so real. Running down a yeah, running down the tarmac towards a plane with an open door. Someone is standing at the top of the steps that lead onto this plane screaming, hurry up, hurry up. And then there's an explosion. Maya, you jolt awake in terror. You look at the clock. It is 3:30 in the morning. You
mm,
you don't know why, but you feel like this dream should mean something to you.
mhm.
Maya, take a fate point for that dream, please.
Oh, cool. Okay, one sec. Fate point.
Heinrich, it's about 2:45. You have retired to the conference room where you have decided to set up shop for the evening. Eventually, fatigue overtakes you and you nod off. You are snoring away and yeah, pretty much. And you suddenly remember, or you have this dream where you're sitting at a table with another individual. You recognize the individual as being Joseph Uzma. Uzma looks at you and he says, and doctor, you assure me that there will be no way that once the poison leaves their system, they can ever trace it back to either of us. You assure Uzma that this will be your finest work ever. He looks at you and he says, for both of our sakes, I hope so. I'm having the product vetted, and if it is what I believe it to be, it will change both of our fortunes permanently. You then remember standing in one of your safe houses at a table. You have test tubes in your hand. You have beakers spewing all sorts of nauseous chemicals on the table in front of you. You have a Bunsen burner at its ready. You are pouring chemicals and singing yourself a show tune. What show tune are you singing, Heinrich?
Hamilton, of course.
All right. You're singing yourself some Hamilton and you are thinking to yourself, this is my finest work to date. Dare I say, ever. You then remember, or you think you remember, loading the chemical in question into a dispenser or a dispenser unit. and providing it to an individual. You never knew his name, at least you don't think you knew his name. But he seemed very pleased as he held this dispenser up like a firearm, and he said, "The old bastard'll never know what hit him." Heinrich, you wake up, strangely enough, with a smile on your face. Take a fate point for this dream, Heinrich.
Yay! I get a fate point.
Pete, by the way, Heinrich, it's about 3:15, 3:30 now, so you decide you're going back to sleep. Pete, you are sound asleep in the room that has been provided to you by the Brotherhood. You have the following dream. You come bursting through the hotel room door to find an old Egyptian gentleman dead on the floor. You immediately recognized him as being the .com billionaire that you were charged with protecting. You rush across the room to him. He is lying flat on his stomach. You row him over. There is foam gushing from his mouth. You quickly survey the body and you find what appears to be a puncture wound on his neck. You start screaming for help. An individual walks through the door. You recognize him as being the individual that hired you for this job, Brian Landry. He looks at you and he says, "You couldn't leave well enough alone, could you? You'll be sorry. You'll pay for this." He then takes aim at you with a handgun. He says, "You just killed our employer." Pete, you wake up in terror as he pulls the trigger. Cold sweats are running down your head. It's about 3:15, 3:30 in the morning. Take a fate point for that dream, please. Okay, it is now about 3:30, 3:45 in the morning. You are all in your individual spaces that you are currently occupying in the Brotherhood's facility. You have each been awoken from a dream that to you feels more like a memory than anything else. As you attempt to go back to sleep, you each settle into a very light sleep when you are woke up by the sound of what can only be described as an alarm. The alarm is going wah, 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 like it's a really loud and obnoxious noise that is
Oh,
meant.
like the entry for like the opening sequence for UFO Unknown.
Sure, yep,
Ding,
absolutely.
ding, 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 ding.
So it's a really loud and obnoxious noise that is meant to get the attention of everyone in the facility. And then an announcement immediately follows that alarm. "Brothers, arm yourselves. We're under siege. We are under attack. Arm yourselves."
God.
And then you hear the crackling of what sounds like gunshots, and then suddenly, and the announcement goes dead. The alarm is still echoing throughout the facility. Heinrich, you will hear this first. You hear screaming and shouting from outside the conference room. You hear the sound of gunshots. You hear people screaming, "Find them! Find them now. Bring them to me. What do you do?
Are they in the calf or are they,
You cannot be sure. You hear it from outside the closed door. Um, Give me a clever roll, please, Heinrich.
clever is come on. No, not that. All right. Clever. So I've got a clever 6.
Okay. The voices or the screaming and the gunshots sound close, but you're fairly certain that it is not immediately outside the room that you currently occupy.
Okay. All right. Well, open the door. Um, you know what? It may be a good time to mix up some napalm now.
Okay. How long is it?
Yeah.
How long is it going to take you to mix up this napalm?
With all the stuff I have, probably about 3 or 4 minutes.
Are you going to do it from that room, or are you going to try and relocate yourself?
The room is secure enough. Do it here.
Okay. Fine. Fine.
Containers, whatnot.
So you're taking your 3 to 4 minutes to mix up your napalm. Maya,
Yep.
Pete, you guys are in rooms that are not too far away from each other. We are going to say that your rooms are maybe 6 or 7 rooms apart. You have both been woke up by this announcement. You can hear the sound of screaming followed by semi-automatic gunfire. You are not immediately certain of where the sounds are coming from, but it definitely sounds close and it is not intermittent. It sounds like a war has just broken out in this facility. Pete, give me a clever roll, please.
A 1.
All right. Um, you can hear the gunshots. You don't know where they're coming from. You definitely hear the screaming as well. You know that something's going down here. What do you want to do?
Okay. Um, so I'm going to look around the room to see if I can see anything that I could use as a weapon.
You still have any weapons that you came into the facility with? They were not taken from you. So you have
Oh,
the
okay.
you have the high point that Heinrich gave you
Okay.
previously. You have the knife that you were or that you stole from Dufresne's cafe previously. So you've got yourself. What weapons are documented on your character sheet right now?
Just the high point. High
So
point and knife.
you also had the knife. So you have the high
Yep.
point and the knife right now.
Yep.
Beyond that, there's really not much that you can use in this room as a weapon, other than maybe snapping the legs off the chair in the room and using them as eskrima sticks.
No. Wasn't sure if I still had my guns. Okay, well, I'm going to open up the door, and did I know where, how far away Maya was?
Um, it never previously came up, but if you want to spend a fate point and say that you know where her room is, that's fine.
I will.
Okay, so deduct the fate point, and yes, you know that Maya's room is about 7 rooms away, just around the corner.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I was going to say leave the room, and I basically want to go to her room, get her if she's not out already, and go and find Heinrich.
Okay, so Maya, there is gunshots taking place outside. You can hear them. You don't know where they are coming from, but you are fairly sure that something bloody and brutal has just taken place here. You can hear the
Hmm.
screaming of people being murdered, followed by more gunshots. There is, you know what? It sounds like a mini revolution just took place. Okay?
Lovely. Yeah.
Give me a clever roll, please.
Clever roll. Oh, yuck. Okay, so I've got a -2, so I'm down to 1
You can hear the
for my clever
gunshots.
this time.
You can hear the gunshots. You can hear the screaming. You definitely don't know where exactly they are coming from, so you're not sure if it would be safe for you to open that door or not. What do you have documented on your character sheet for weapons at this point, Maya?
Okay, so I've got the dagger, the ornate dagger, and I have a gun with 14 bullets.
Sure. Okay, so you have a knife and a gun. Perfect. All right, so Maya, what do you want to do at this point?
I'm going to grab the dagger and the gun and maybe cower in a corner
And cower in a corner.
until things have quieted down just a little bit because I don't
Uh,
know where it's coming from.
all right. So, Heinrich, the 4 minutes has elapsed. The gunshots continue. There is definitely a war taking place in this facility. You have mixed up your napalm. It is ready to go. What do you want to
I
do
have
here?
5 charges.
That's fine. Document it on your character sheet, please. You have 5
Okay.
charges of napalm.
Come on, there's only so much napalm like I can make in 4 minutes, right?
That's fine. So, where do you want to
Okay.
go here?
All right. Well, let's go have some fun.
Okay, so you're exiting the room.
Okay. Yep.
So you exit the
Hearing protection first.
that's fine. You exit the room. Now, remember you are exiting into a hallway with the cafeteria directly across from you. On the left-hand side of you will be the hallway leading back to the main entrance that you originally entered through. On the left-hand side of the hallway will be the hallway you take to get down to the doctor's office and the barracks. Across from you is the cafeteria with the washroom at one end. The kitchen is on one side. The library is on the other side. Where are you going?
Getting into the cafeteria first.
Okay, so you quickly scoot across the hallway into the cafeteria. Okay. Um, On your way into the cafeteria area, you hear gunshots coming from inside the library. You look up, you can see the flash of gunfire. Someone comes flying through the door of the library that leads into the cafeteria area in a explosion of bullets. Like it looks like the gunshots blew them through that door. They are gushing blood all over the floor as they hit the floor. There is absolutely no question this brother is dead.
Okay.
Okay? So what are you doing?
Take a look down that corridor. I'm assuming it's going to be ninjas.
You mean into the library?
Well, remember, you said that it's like a 2-minute walk to the library from the cafeteria,
Yep.
right? It's a long corridor.
Yep.
So in that long corridor, are there bad guys in there, or is it like
You
is the
see,
corridor empty?
so you look down the corridor. The corridor is lit by emergency lighting, okay? Uh, what you immediately see is individuals in tactical gear rushing down that corridor. There's about 5 of them in that corridor at this point, and
Okay.
they're all headed in your direction.
Well, napalm time.
Okay,
Give them a
so
gift.
All right. So you're throwing the napalm charge. This is combat. Give me a quick roll, please.
Ah, don't give me ads. Sorry. All right, so it's 3.
Okay.
You know,
So you come whipping around the corner. They see you. You hear one of them scream, "There's one of those bastards now!" And he takes aim to fire at you. Just as you launch the napalm into the hallway, you hear, "What the?" And then whoosh, this giant explosion of
it's not that
flame.
giant.
Well,
It's not giant. Think of
it's a wall of fire, effectively.
no. No, 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 no. You don't know how napalm works.
Describe
Napalm's a wonderful thing.
that's
So first, okay. So first thing that happens is that charge flies through the air, and a little dispersal
uh-huh.
charge bursts the little thing into. So
Yeah.
it's about this big. Okay, about that. In the air, it bursts open,
Uh-huh.
and gooey.
It's like a powder.
No, 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 no. It's not like a powder. It's like dulce de leche. But really, let me try that again. It is like it's like maple syrup. Okay, and that basically the dispersal charge spreads this maple syrup everywhere. Then the igniter charge goes off. When the igniter charge goes off, it sets the maple syrup on fire.
E-
And
Either way, you wipe them out in hot, fiery death. Okay?
well, it takes a while, and there's a lot of screaming involved.
Yes, there is. And you definitely hear the screaming as you get to smell
Barbecue pork.
the after effect is how I'm going to put it. So you've taken out the 5 individuals that were coming down the hallway. Okay?
Which reminds me, I haven't had breakfast yet.
Lovely. Okay, so
Right. Good thing I'm near the cafeteria.
so where to from here?
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to let that fire burn out a bit because
All right. So while that's going down with you, and you've just taken out 5 of the individuals coming down that hallway,
in a screaming horrible way. Awesome.
Pete, you get to the room that you believe is Maya's room. You can hear the gunshots and the commotion going on behind you. Uh, at one point, you're pretty sure that you heard what could only be described as an explosion, followed by agonizing screams.
No, it's not an explosion. It's a woomph.
Wow.
It's not an explosion. It doesn't go boom. It goes woomph.
Anyways, you are at Maya's door. What are you doing here?
I'm gonna bang and call for her. Open the door.
You realize you do that, she's gonna shoot you through the door, right?
Oh.
That's why I banged first.
So, Maya, you're in your
Bang and scream first.
Yep. Okay. So, Maya, you're in your room. Okay.
Yeah.
You're cowering in a corner on the opposite side of the room. You've got your
Yep.
dagger and you've got your gun. You hear boom, boom on the door, followed by more.
Plus, I'm yelling your name.
Yeah. Oh, he's yelling your name. Okay. Now, I'm trying to decide how I want to handle this one. Okay.
I would
So,
have said it's Pete.
And badly,
unless it's
man.
like a
That's
vault.
for sure.
all right. So,
I was gonna say I'm gonna say it's Pete. So unless it's like a vault door, she could probably hear me through it pretty easy.
all right. So you hear someone pounding at the door, screaming your name. Give me a clever roll, please, Maya.
All right. Let's see if I recognize. Oh gosh. I'm at a 6 now for
Yeah.
clever.
Yeah. You absolutely hear Pete screaming, "Maya, it's Pete!"
Do you still open fire is the question.
Well, if I actually hear that it's Pete, no, I won't.
Why
But
not? just scare him a bit. It's okay. You just wing him, right? It's fine.
why? Why am I gonna waste a
She'll probably
bullet if
try
it's
not
not
to
the
hit me
enemy?
and actually hit me.
Ah.
See, if my clever roll was low, then I probably would have reacted badly,
All right. So what are you doing
right?
here,
If I
Maya?
said shoot, so
Eh.
I'm gonna get up and open the door for him.
Okay. So you open the door. Pete's standing on the other side of the door. You guys can both hear the
Pete,
gunshots.
what's going on?
No clue. Let's get Heinrich and get the hell
Did
out.
someone follow you? Did someone follow you here?
I didn't see it.
There
I was
better
only
not be
six.
anyone behind you. See, I'm
Uh,
fully armed. A
yeah.
dagger and a gun.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like I
Okay.
stand a
So
chance. Huh?
so Maya and Pete have reconnected in this hallway. Heinrich, you have just laid waste to 5 individuals in tactical gear. The screaming and the overwhelming smell of pork is wafting in your general direction as you explained it from that hallway. You still hear gunfire and screams and commotion. What are you doing now?
Well, go back to the cafeteria and grab some breakfast first. Day starts with a good meal.
Okay, well, there's no food in the cafeteria, buddy.
Well, the kitchen. Come on. I mean, there's got to be something.
Okay, fine.
Okay, there's a gunfire raging around you, and you're going to eat?
So
What better
you're
time is there?
okay. So hold on. So you go into the kitchen. Keep in mind it's about 3:45, 4 a.m. in the morning. Okay.
Which means that the cooks have actually probably started already because they have to prep breakfast for everybody, right?
Sure. That's fine. So you go into the kitchen. Okay. Um, This is gonna cost you a fate point. I'm sorry if you're gonna do this. So you walk into the kitchen. If you want to spend the fate point, you tell me what food you have found already prepared. I will tell you the kitchen is empty because anyone that was in that kitchen is now in this fight.
It's
Yeah,
actually
but that would have
pancake
left
day.
all the food
Yes, it
out.
what exactly. So if you want to eat, spend the fate point to do it and tell me what you find in the kitchen.
Okay. Well, I will spend a fate point.
What do you
Let's
find?
see.
What do you find in the kitchen?
I will find sausages and eggs and the breakfast sausages, links, hash browns, eggs. There's going to be a nice fruit salad,
Okay.
fruit bar. You know, um, what else? There's going to be copious quantities of coffee, and you know
Uh,
the normal
What are you
continental style breakfast.
all right. So let
What are you
me.
doing?
So
There's a shooting raging around you, and you're going to eat?
let me be very clear on this now. You are
Is this
in
really time?
you are in the kitchen. You are eating, correct?
No, grab a plate or two. Put some
Or
put
10?
breakfast on it, right? On one plate, put breakfast on another plate. Have 2 plates of breakfast ready, right?
Okay.
So the doorway to the library or the hallway to the library right now is probably still a bit on fire.
Yep.
It's contained at least. So I've already blocked one way in. So the other ways in, however, okay, I need to basically take one of these plates, go back into the
Okay.
cafeteria.
So hold on. I'm gonna remind you of something. Now that you have done this to the hallway that leads down to the library, there are only 2 ways in. There is the
Mm-hmm.
hallway at the other end of the cafeteria that leads back to the main entrance. And then on the other side of that hallway, it leads to the doctor's office and the barracks. Okay, so that's fine. Go ahead.
There, wasn't there 3 ways in? Because there's one because there were 2 entrance. All right, three still viable. There was one that led from the cafeteria to the way we got in the first place.
That's the
There's one that goes to the
yeah,
library.
that's the second way. And then the
That's the
third
second way.
then the third
Third
way
way,
was an emergency exit at the other end of the barracks.
yeah, and then there's because the fourth way out of this was to the conference room.
No, the conference room is on the opposite side of that hallway. So you have
Okay.
cafeteria, bathroom on one end of the cafeteria, a hallway that leads to the library. The other end of the cafeteria is another hallway that runs parallel. One end leads back down to the main entrance, the other end leads down towards the doctor's office and the barracks. At the other end of the barracks is the emergency exit that you were previously shown to get
Okay.
back to the car. So
All right.
because you've
So
set that one hallway on fire, you're down to 2.
okay. Well, that means that the emergency exit path and the path to the barracks and whatever, right?
Okay, so you have your 2 plates of food. Where are you headed?
Well, the first thing to do is take those plates, head. Okay, so the path to go down the main corridor to go back the way we originally came in.
Yep.
All right, is that clear?
No. Give me a clever roll, please.
Ah, stupid ads. 3.
Okay. You exit the kitchen. You hang a sharp left to walk back down towards the conference room, which, on one side of the conference room is the hallway leading back to the main entrance that you came in through. As you come out of the kitchen, you hear a lot of gunfire. There is absolutely no doubt whatsoever that that gunfire is coming from the main entrance to the facility.
Okay. So, well, at this point, you put the plates of food down. Take a look down that corridor.
Okay, at the other end of the corridor, you can see the flashing of gunshots off of the walls. You can hear a lot of screaming and yelling. There is definitely a conflict taking place down there.
Sure. Inch down there. Like again, chances are the bad guys or guys in the tactical gear will be downstairs in the rotunda, where we were surrounded and had guns pointed at us. So give them a present of napalm.
Okay, so you inch down the hallway. You just get down towards the end. Give me a quick roll, please.
Is it me or is this constantly like what the hell?
The ads I
Sorry.
just exit when I'm not using it. Or is the ads
So
just keep
2.
popping up?
Okay, you get down towards the end of the hallway. Just as you get to the end of the hallway, someone comes stumbling around the corner, clutching their stomach. Uh, the blood is gushing out from
This
around
Brotherhood
their head.
guy.
It is absolutely one of the brothers.
Okay, so grab him by the collar. I'm gonna haul him back after I toss the napalm.
Okay, give me a quick roll to throw the napalm, please.
Okay. So I have 2 plus 2, 4.
Okay, you launch the napalm into the rotunda area, and you hear very shocked surprises, and then whoomp! Okay, so you successfully fired off the napalm. What is in question is how many people you managed to take out with that napalm, because you never got a look in there to see how many people were in there.
Doesn't matter. They're all dead anyway. So
Maya and Pete, so you have met at Maya's room. What direction are you headed in, please?
Towards where Heinrich was.
Okay, so you
The
start.
common room or whatever.
Yep, fair enough. So you start to make your way through the rooms and the corridors to get down to the common room, okay?
Hmm.
Just before you exit the barracks, both of you give me a quick roll, please.
Quick. Whoops. My quick is
3.
1.
Okay, Pete, who's going first, you or Maya?
Me.
Okay, just as you are coming towards the hallway that exits the barracks into the common room area, a brother comes running around the corner screaming, "Stop, stop, stop, go the other way." You immediately recognize the brother as being Brother Timothy, who was the executive aide to Brother Jones. He says, "Mr. Gallagher, Maya, I'm glad I found you. We've been betrayed. We've been betrayed by our own brothers. You need to leave. You need to come with me." And he starts pointing you back towards the way you came. So he's
Yeah, I'm going to ask him, where's Heinrich? Have you seen him?
No, we haven't seen him. We don't know where he is. It doesn't matter. The two of you need to leave now. I'll show you another way out. And again, he starts pointing you down the corridor that you were just coming from.
Yeah. Now, could I blow a... Okay, so I can tell that he's not lying, right? Or do I have to blow a fate point on that?
Give me a clever roll.
Ooh, a -2.
Okay. Um, do you want to take that?
I'm going to blow a fate point to
Sure.
reroll that. 1. No, sorry, 0.
You can't be sure. You can't be sure. Um, he seems genuine, but you're not 100% sure if what he's telling you is true or not.
Oh, I was going to say, Maya, do you want to go with him, and I'll go back and get Heinrich, find him?
I think we should stick together. We've been in this together from the beginning, so. Hmm.
So what do you want to do here, folks? Do you want to follow Timothy's advice and beat feet? Do you both want to go look for Heinrich, or do you want to go your separate ways on this one?
Let's go look for Heinrich, and then we get out together.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm going to try to persuade him to come with us.
So the two of you try to persuade Timothy that you need to find Heinrich. He again insists that you need to leave. He says that everyone's safety depends on you two not being captured.
Then why don't you come with us, Timothy, and help protect us and find Heinrich, and then we all get out together.
All right. So Timothy explains to you that he is not as well trained in the combative arts as his brothers, but he agrees that if you insist on this measure, then he will assist you in trying to locate Heinrich. He says, "Come with me. and he points back down the hallway towards the common area. Heinrich, you're now in this common area. You have a brother bleeding out in front of you on the ground. Uh,
Patch him up if I can.
okay. Give me a clever roll, please.
3.
So that gunshot hit him right in the gut. Okay. He, without actually doing diagnostics, you can't be sure if it took out any major organs, but he's heavily bleeding out from his stomach. Um, you,
Stabilize him.
yeah,
This is
you
what
can, yep,
Heinrich's a doctor. Hello, stabilize him.
exactly. So my question is, what are you going to do to stabilize him? What do you have in your bag that you can use to stabilize
Everything
him?
that I stole from
Okay.
everything from I stole from the infirmary.
So you stole needles, you stole gauze, and you
Yeah.
stole antibiotics. What are you using?
Coagulants. There should be things. I mean, all sorts of standard trauma gear.
How long will this take
So
you?
5-10 minutes.
Okay. Are you going to do it right there in the hallway, or are you going to try and move
Well,
them?
I bring them into the
The lab?
cafeteria first.
Okay, that's fine. So are you dragging him with both arms, or are you like one hand dragging him, one
One
arm on?
hand.
Like, okay, so that's fine. So you drag him back to the cafeteria and you proceed to try and work a miracle on this guy.
Hmm.
Maya and Pete, Timothy leads you back to the common area where you find Heinrich tending to a wounded brother on the ground.
And
Um,
having breakfast.
that's fine. He's having breakfast too. Timothy immediately recognizes the individual on the ground as being brother Andrew. He rushes across to him to check on him. He says, I can't believe this is happening, in sheer shock. He looks down at him. He says, where's Brother Jones, Brother Andrew? Where's Brother Jones? Andrew looks up at him and he goes to say something and he just groans in agony. The tears are streaming down his face and he can't muster up the energy to say anything as Heinrich is rooting around in him, trying to patch him up. Um, each of you give me a clever row again, please. Actually, Heinrich, you're working on Brother Andrew, so strictly Maya and Pete, give me a clever row, please.
1.
Um, 1.
Okay. Things have gone deathly silent for the time being.
Well, considering I
Uh,
barbecued a bunch of people in the anteroom, and then the method through the library has been booked.
yep.
Yeah,
Exactly. So things have gone deathly silent for the time being. So, Heinrich,
have another sausage.
you said about 10 minutes to patch this guy up.
Yep.
Okay. As you are attempting to patch him up, you notice Brother Timothy pacing around, holding his head like this, and all he keeps saying is, this can't be happening. This cannot be happening.
I'm
Okay,
going to ask him, so what is happening?
so he looks at you and he says, we've been betrayed by our own brothers. We've been betrayed by our own brothers. This can't be happening. And he just keeps pacing up and down the floor. Maya and Pete, give me another clever row, please.
-2.
I'm at 2 as well.
Okay. It's still deadly silent. Like,
Sodium pentothal time. Time to make the brother aid our best friend. Pop him.
You're gonna pop him?
No,
That's
I'm gonna hit him with sodium pentothal.
okay. As he's
Make him
pacing,
my best friend.
that's fine. As he's pacing back and forth, you get up with a syringe in your hand. You walk behind him, and you pop him with the needle. He never saw it coming. He turns around and goes, "What was that?"
My own special formulation of sodium pentothal. You will be my best friend. Hi.
Hi.
Why did you betray us?
I didn't. I didn't. We were betrayed.
By whom?
My brothers. My brothers.
Which one?
I don't know. I was asleep. I was woke up by gunfire. I
How
went.
did they get in? There's
I.
only 2 ways into this building.
I. I answered the call. I went to check on Brother Jones. I went to the armory. I never made it to the armory. I got. I got to the control room area and saw. I saw my brothers killing my own brothers.
Which brothers?
So
Who did the killing?
so he looks at you. He goes, "It, it was Brother Isaiah." So, Heinrich, you immediately recognize the name Brother Isaiah as being the name of the individual who immediately objected to your presence when the three of you arrived and were not murdered immediately. This is the individual who was romantically involved with one of the guys that was killed on the mission to the library. Uh, Pete and Maya, give me another clever roll, please, while Heinrich is talking to Timothy.
0.
1.
Okay. Still dead silence at this point. Heinrich, it's been about 8 minutes now since you started working on Brother Andrew. You said it would take about 10 minutes. So my question for you is, while you're questioning Timothy after jabbing him with that needle, how are you working on Andrew and
No, I
questioning
just
Timothy?
jabbed him with a needle and went back.
Okay. So what you have been able to deduce so far from hitting Timothy with the sodium pentothal is when the alarm went off, he answered the call and made his way towards the armory as he was expected to do. So he went upstairs to the control room area, which you will be familiar with because you and Maya were there earlier. Okay.
Yep.
He never made it to the armory to arm himself because when he exited into that room, he saw members of the Brotherhood gunning down other members of the Brotherhood.
Yep.
He acknowledged immediately that the individual that he saw murdering other members of the Brotherhood was Brother Isaiah, which you recognize as being the name of the individual who objected to your presence and wanted the three of you murdered immediately. Okay?
Right.
So, that is what you have been able to get out of Timothy thus far. Okay. Maya and Pete, give me another clever roll, please.
1.
5.
All right. So, Maya, Heinrich is working on
Oui?
this brother Andrew individual. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he's questioning brother Timothy, who he is jabbed with sodium pentothal at the same time. As you are standing there observing what's taking place, it has been silent for the last 10 minutes. And then you
Mm-hmm.
hear, spread out, find them. Anyone who's still alive, kill them, but bring those free to me. Alive if possible, dead if necessary, but bring them to me. And you hear that coming from down the corridor which would lead to the main entrance of the facility. So you've got company coming very quickly.
Napalm time.
Okay? So,
How many do you have
he,
left
I
of
got three
those?
left.
How many charges
he's got 3 left.
do you
Okay.
left? Okay,
So,
well, it's also
Lost
time to
two. You
leave.
know.
so
Well,
Maya, do you bring this to their attention? Because you were the one that heard it.
Yes, of course. Hey, guys, I hear someone coming. We have to leave. Come on,
take two of these
come
and
on.
call me in
Can
the
we
morning.
carry Andrew? This Andrew
Well,
brother. What? Are you?
well, one or two
What are
of
you
you,
laughing?
one or two of you could probably, prop him up between the two of you and drag him down the corridor.
So first things
Yes,
first.
the three
Again,
guys of you.
2 napalm charges.
Okay?
Launch them. Into that room with all those people. Barbecue time again.
Okay.
And I want to finish my breakfast.
All right. So here's how this is gonna. So you're going to do what
You're
exactly?
crazy.
So you're in the cafeteria area right now. For you to launch that napalm, you're gonna have to go back down that hallway to launch it. Is that what you're doing?
Well, of course. What else
Okay,
do I have to do?
that's fine. So you cross the cafeteria, leaving these two with Timothy and Andrew, and you head back down that hallway to launch your 2 more charges of napalm. I need you to give me a quick roll, please. And by the way, before you do this, I need to understand something. When you go down this hallway, how are you going down this hallway? What is in your hands?
So I'm leaving the doctor bag over with the patient. Obviously, I have obviously the pistol's in its holster, but I have one charge in each hand. And yeah, going down the hallway carefully.
Okay, that's fine. Give me a quick roll.
Ooh, one.
Okay, so
Hmm.
you just round the corner to go down that hallway, and you see no less than 10 individuals in tactical gear come rushing through the door. You never even get a chance to make it to the doorway to launch that napalm. Okay, so at this point, your choices are throw that napalm right now.
Of course,
Okay, launch it. Give me a quick roll.
3.
Okay, you launch it into the air in their direction. The two guys at the front scream, "Oh shit!" The ones behind them look up
Toasty.
just in time to see it go flying through the air, and they turn and they run.
yeah,
Now,
but they're all going to try and crowd through
that
a
that's it.
one-person
That's
doorway.
exactly what happens. So they all try to crowd through the same doorway. There's 10 of them there. The first 4 make it through the doorway before that napalm hits. The other 6, well, not
Bye
so
bye.
lucky. Whoomp! Maya and
Okay.
Pete, you get to see firsthand what happens when napalm is launched and detonated. And the visual effect isn't quite as overwhelming as the smell. Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty potent. Now, you've got these 6 individuals burning alive in the hallway. Heinrich is standing there. I have a feeling that Heinrich has a smile on his face.
Well, no, of course not. I am hungry right now. I'm going to go finish my breakfast.
Okay, Heinrich, give me another quick row, please.
Add.
That's fine.
Quick -1, 1.
Okay. You turn around to go back to finish your breakfast, and a bullet goes whizzing by your head.
Miss me.
The 4 individuals that made it through that door are firing from a distance now. So they're
Yeah, but again, I'm not moseying, Scott. I'm running back to the thing,
that's
the
fine.
calf,
It
and I'm
missed
going to go grab my last napalm.
that's fine. It missed you, but they're still firing in the hopes that they're going to hit something.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go back to the calf and you said you're grabbing your last napalm.
Yep. And I'm surprised that these 4 can actually concentrate on firing when there's 6 people screaming and burning to death in front of them.
Yes,
So
yes, I know.
So
So,
yeah.
you make it back to the calf. Timothy is standing there, still pacing back and forth with his hands on his head, shaking his head in disbelief. They betrayed us. They betrayed us. We need to leave. We need to go. He looks at the 3 of you. He screams, "We need to get out of here."
Mm-hmm. What makes you think they're not camped up upstairs waiting for us?
I don't know.
That's how you smoke out, a ferret, right?
I don't know. We can't be here. We can't be here. We gotta go.
Uh-huh. Well, let's see. Grab the last napalm,
Okay.
and yeah, give a gift to those last 4 guys because they're being so giving with their bullets. Let's give back.
Okay. So you walk back across the cafeteria to the hallway. Okay, where these 6 individuals are a little extra crispy now.
Oh no, they're still burning, man.
The,
Seconds have passed. They're
there's
screaming and burning, man.
there's the 4 guys off
They're
in it.
basically. Chances are these guys are trying to roll around.
Yeah,
The napalm's not going to go away.
that's
So they're
fine.
trying to roll around.
There's
They're
the
taking off their clothing.
there's the 4 guys at the other end of the hallway that are firing randomly through the door. Now,
Probably hitting their buddies too.
oh, they're shooting at whatever they can think to shoot at this point. To them, at this point, hitting their buddies would be a mercy killing. Okay? So, as you cross the cafeteria, give me a quick roll, please.
So my question is, why am I doing all the work? Quick 4.
Ask your party members that. So, Heinrich, you just make it to the other side where you're just out of range. The bullets are flying by in front of you. Okay.
Bank shot.
You're
Boom.
well, hold on. Don't fire it just yet. You hear from down the hallway from the 4 individuals that are randomly shooting at this point. You hear one of them say into a headset that he has on, you hear him say, "Mr. Uzma, we found them. They're here. We had sight on them. Send in the reinforcements."
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, now, if you still want to launch that napalm, you be my guest.
I can always make more.
That's fine.
right? But again, we need the guns. We need, artillery. We can't fight them off with handguns.
Nope. And the armory is on the other side where they're shooting from.
Uh-huh. Well, the problem
You
is
see,
we
well, I'm
can't
going to
get,
ask what's his name to find us a place where we can kind of, regroup. I'm going to say he knows this area, but he knows this building.
Who, Timothy? Okay. So, well, Heinrich is crossing the cafeteria to launch his last load of napalm at these guys. You ask Timothy that question, he says, "We need to go. I can get us out of here, but we need to go." So he's not
Hey,
holding.
let's get out of here then.
Yeah, he's not holding back. He's more than willing to show you how to get out, but he's insisting that you need to go.
Mhm.
So, Heinrich, you have heard these guys at the other end of the corridor calling in
So
reinforcements.
okay, so my question is the tack vests on these guys that, I mean, they're probably still burning,
Yep.
but the other batch of guys would have been further down the hallway, right?
You mean the guys that are shooting at you right now?
No, the guys that I burned in the first batch.
They're down the opposite hallway. So there was a hallway that led out of the library into the back half
Yeah,
of the cafeteria. That's where they're at.
yeah. Well, in any case, yeah, the grenades and other ammunition probably cooked off by now. But oh well. All right. Well, launch the last of the napalm, and
Okay, give me
are
a.
the 6 guys that are on fire? Are they down?
Oh, they're dead. Um,
Okay.
give me
The
a.
tac vests. Do they have grenades?
Uh,
Grenades,
give me.
flashbangs.
So give me a quick row for the napalm that you're trying to launch through the corridor into the doorway.
3.
Okay. So, um, two of the guys at the other end of the doorway see you come whipping around just in time to bank shot the napalm at them. One of them screams, "Shit, close it!" And they suddenly slam the door, okay, that is open that they're shooting through right now. So the napalm hits, but it hits the door. They managed to shut it in time.
That's fine. They'll
So,
burn on the door for a while.
whoosh, yep, burning around the door for a while. Okay.
Yep.
Um,
So, and now check the bodies or the tac vests that are at least still intact anyway of
the
these
ones that you just brought.
barbecued.
Okay. So, there were 6 of them. Okay. There is recoverable material from 2 out of the 6 at this point. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Considering they're all turned around, I would have nailed them all in the back, but yeah.
so the 2 vests that have recoverable material, one of them has 2 grenades. The other one has a grenade and a flash bang.
Awesome.
So if you want to add that to your inventory, you have 3 grenades and 1 flashbang. You can either retain it for yourself or distribute it to your party members.
Okay, so first things first. Let's see. Are there any? Okay, so grab all the grenades and whatnot,
So 3 grenades, 1 flashbang.
and run back to the kitchen
Yep.
and look through the recycling, the cans, right? See if they have, those a standard soup can or whatever, metal soup can.
So spend the fate point and tell me what you find.
I find enough cans
Okay. So
that
spend
I
the.
can put Yes, because what my interest is in is with the cans. So I'm down to 3 fate points now. One moment. 3 fate points. So what I want to do is I want to basically put a grenade in each one of these cans. Take the pin out, obviously,
So you've got
and
two. So you've got the free grenades. So free cans. That's fine.
okay, and flashbang as well.
Fine.
Tie
Four
a
cans. Yep.
string. Tie a string to the grenades, and then basically set up tripwires with this, so that when someone walks by and kicks the wire or the rope or whatever the string,
So you're
it'll pull the
you're
grenade.
booby trapping it. Yeah.
Booby trap.
Of course,
Yeah.
booby traps.
Now
So set
where
up
are
the
you gonna set it?
in front of the door that those guys just closed. That's currently on fire.
Okay.
You'll hide it in the bodies so that if they walk past the bodies, they'll trip the grenade out and cause chaos there. Across the doorways, and because I've got 3 of these things, right, plus a flashbang. So I'll keep the flashbang, but the other 3 set up booby traps on the doorway between bodies, that kind of thing.
Okay. So you set up the booby traps. Okay. So you only legitimately at this point need to drop free. So you need to drop one by the door that they just closed. You need to drop one by the hallway that leads from the library because they could work their way back and come back down that hallway.
Hmm.
And then the third one that you will need to set up is in the opposite end of the hallway that leads down towards the barracks at this point. So
Yes.
all I need to know is which ones are you dropping because you had 3 grenades and you
Yeah, one
had a
for each.
flashbang. Pardon me?
One for each.
Okay, give me one sec. Yeah, so one for each. So that still leaves you with one. So the question is, are you
One
dropping?
what?
So you have free grenades and a flashbang. Okay?
Yes, the flashbang I'm keeping.
So it's the free grenades. That's what I needed to know. Perfect. Oh,
Yes.
okay. So you are in the cafeteria right now. You have dropped 2 of the free booby traps because at this point you cannot drop the third one until you head down the hallway towards the barracks. Are you taking care of any more business in this cafeteria, or are you going to take Timothy's advice and get the hell out of there?
Well, of course we're going to get the hell out of here. But again, first thing is I finished my breakfast.
Okay?
Oh, jeez.
So you guys are standing in the cafeteria. Heinrich, you have rigged your booby charges, or sorry, your booby traps, and you are dropping them on the door leading back to the main entrance and on the hallway exit from the library into the cafeteria area. Brother Timothy is standing there still. You've hit him with the sodium pentothal. Um, so, still answer any questions you may have, but he would have done that anyways because at this point, it doesn't look like he was being deceptive in the first place. He's walking around, hand on his head, shaking his head in frustration and disbelief.
Well, it's time to go.
Yep, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe this. Not here, not now. My brother
Get a
should have.
hold of yourself,
Yeah,
Sue.
pretty much. And he's screaming frantically that we need to get out of here. You have what's left of the breakfast you scooped up from the kitchen. You've got Brother Timothy there, frantic, and you've got Brother Andrew, who you just patched up, laying on the floor. What are we doing from this point, folks?
Okay, well, since I can, volunteer Pete to carry the injured guy,
Yep. So
then
we will assume that Pete
Yep.
is going to help you. So you and Pete each grab.
why me?
All right. Well then, Pete grabs Brother Andrew and drags him down the corridor. Sorry, give
Oh,
me one.
subtle.
Okay. So Pete is dragging Andrew down the corridor. Timothy is saying that he can show you a safe place. Do you follow him?
Sure, why not?
All right, so Timothy leads you down a series of corridors through the barracks to the other side of the barracks to a hallway with a door at one end. Heinrich, you will immediately recognize this as being the emergency exit that you were shown previously when you first arrived. Timothy opens the door. He says, "Please follow me this way." And he ushers you all through the door. Do you go through? Yes? No?
Well, Pete and injured guy should go first.
Okay, so injured guy and
The
Pete.
injured guy should go first.
So
Then Pete.
Pete pulls the injured brother through the door. Maya, I'm guessing you go through as well.
With very, with caution.
Yep. So
Because I don't know what's waiting on the other side of the door.
that's fine. So then Heinrich, I'm assuming you follow Maya through. and
Yep.
and then Timothy exits last, pulling the door shut behind him. Heinrich, you will recognize this. Maya and Pete will not. On the right-hand side, there is a set of metallic stairs that seems to lead up a few levels. Heinrich will know that these stairs will lead back up to the surface. Do you begin to ascend the stairs? Yes, no?
Hmm. Well, we're trying to get out, so yeah,
All right. So,
slowly.
so as you begin to ascend the stairs, Brother Timothy says, "No, my friends, please, not that way. It will not be
Okay.
safe.
Then which way?
It will not be safe at this point." So, Maya, you ask which way then, because you notice that it's either up or back the way you came. It's at that
Hmm.
point that Timothy turns to his immediate left to face what appears to be a brick wall. He takes his hand, he pushes it against a brick. You hear a distinct click sound, and then it's almost like the wall separates. He reaches in, he grabs the wall with both hands. He says, "I need help here, please." Who's going to help him?
Okay, Heinrich, you're up.
Sure, why not?
Heinrich, muscle
Okay.
man.
So, we will assume that both Heinrich and Pete help
Oh,
Timothy.
yeah.
You guys pull this wall as far apart as you can. Timothy says, "In here, please. In here." He ushers the three of you in there, the three of you being Pete, Heinrich, and Maya. Pete, of course, brings brother Andrew with him. Uh, Timothy follows you into this room. As you go into the room, he reaches up in the darkness and you hear a click, and then he pulls on this light that is attached to a string. He quickly reaches over just past the wall and he takes his fist and he slams it into a brick. Suddenly, this open door goes boom and it slams shut. And
Mm-hmm.
he says, "We'll be safe here until the dust has settled on this horrific, horrific evening." He ushers you a little further into the room. As you move further into the darkness, he again reaches up. You hear another click, and he proceeds to turn on another light. He walks around the room, turning on more string lights with strings attached to them. What he is turning on reveals a solid brick structure. It is one room built into this facility that you would have no way of knowing was there. He looks at this he looks at you and he says, "This is our safe room, at least for the time being." And he says, "I can't believe this has happened. We were betrayed by our own. I want my revenge."
How long? How long can we stay here?
Give me a clever roll, Maya.
2.
Okay. You don't need to ask that question because as you begin to think about asking it, you realize that the real answer to this is it actually safe to stay here at all? He looks at you and he says, "No one knows this room exists. To the outside, this looks like nothing is here. There were only certain members of the Brotherhood that knew this room existed. Myself and Brother Jones. This room was meant to be used in emergencies only, and this is an emergency befitting the use of this room. Mark my words, I will have my revenge." And guys, that's where we're going to wrap this up. So this is the end of this week's episode of As Fate Would Have It on the CanGeek Games and Collectibles YouTube channel and the CanGeek Facebook page. Greg did have to drop out early. Unfortunately, his internet crashed. So we will bring him up to speed as to where we left off when we begin our next game session. Until then, though, as always, thanks very much for joining us, and ciao for now.
Take care. Bye bye.